already. Maybe I can in a close frame it. Let's see how does this look on the painting. Yeah, I love those details and I see. But right, you don't see all the detail, just the color. Ah, but and let's check if it shimmers. You would know already. Hi, Timothy. June 1st, can you come on the show? Yes, yes, I think so. Just let me know at what time. And I use Central European time. Okay, I'll figure it out and let you know as soon as possible. We're excited to have you. Oh, alright. Nice, thank you. It'll be interesting. Nice. I'm working on another one of my six fourth dimensional compositions. This one is a large canvas. It's 1 meter 40 by 1 meter, and it's all with the deep sea creatures and of the depths of the sea and sort of shines of water and various water structures. It includes underwater waterfalls and underwater rivers, underwater volcano. Yes, there's lots of elements, and I'm using those elements to show the fourth dimension. I have chose specifically this species of deep sea creatures and the sort of water phenomenon to show the fourth dimension through its structures. Thank you very much, Timothy, for an award. I appreciate it. And it is an appreciate award. Thank you, Timothy. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I've been streaming, working on it already yesterday and the day before, but each time I do it, I sort of show another angle of the same painting. And I've noticed that I am able to post on Hubs, so I have posted the picture of the whole painting as at the stage it was before. I'm working a lot on this light stuff on it. So when it's finished, it will turn out a lot brighter, but the light will not come as as known from nature one direction or something, and the subjects will not be casting shadow as in traditional third dimensional imagery. I'm really using it for the fourth dimension purposes. June the 1st. No problem. I'll be 36 then. I think it will be Tuesday. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it seems to look clear. Sorry for this. So it should be wrong. And the canvas is it? Yeah, details can be. Ben. Hello, Kate. Hello, Ben. I find myself looking for the Venus de Milo. On the palm of the hand. I am definitely a surrealist. Do you mean literally you have Venus de Milo on your hand, like some kind of miniature replica or something? I was actually thinking about it today, uh, specifically about that piece, because I find it a little bit disturbing that it has been so accepted and popular due to some kind of seeming disability of what is being saved of the sculpture. That's unlike David, for example, where you can see all the sculpture with oh, even I was thinking about that. I know why the thought came through my mind, because of the subject of nudity in art we've been talking about. And you see, Venus de Milo not only is kind of disabled because no arms thing, but also, no, my friend, the palm of the hand in the piece, and the palm of the hand in the piece. Yes, there is no hand, so there is no hand. That's the point. She not only she not only has no hands, no arms, but also has like a cloak, like a material covering the crotch area. And on the other hand, there's this David with his little trout out that everybody sees looking all healthy and that. I wondered why why did it have to be that way? That these are both like typically known examples of naked sculptures that commonly exist in everybody's knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that. Please, yeah. What did you? Yeah. I am not a surrealist either, so that's why I analyzed it in this very realistic, yeah, nearly political way. Uh, yeah. From the heterosexual male perspective, one could say that David needs everything to be a beautiful piece, where Venus is intrinsically beautiful, even if she was represented as a beautiful torso. No, no, I didn't mean that way. I mean it's kind of all about the weakness of the piece. I know about this thing of like it's like who appreciates like real strong shining beauty in its health and full glory and female, and also it's the subject of genitals in art. Look at David, he's got his little one. It's been sculpted clearly by the um, male body loving Michelangelo. We have statues where you see things like that a lot, usually of male gender, but not of female gender. And I don't find I am into girls, right? And I don't in any way find this Venus beautiful. I find it like just a sheer ruin of a sculpture. And I know it's been used as a symbol of disability and female weakness. And that's what I mean. Like we say that about how advanced is our society, right? Civilization and so on. How advanced we are, and I think it is really not advanced at all as long as the female body is treated in a way I see it is. Is this Queen Victoria's cover up all the time going on? Like it has never stopped, and censoring in a really irrational way. So much so as to make broken sculpture so popular. You wouldn't, if you were just thinking clear mind and you would, for example, go to the flea market, you wouldn't buy such a thing because you wouldn't want to buy broken things from the antiques and things um, that have survived or lasted for many years. You would naturally choose one that was saved, that that is still in one piece. So I'm not buying this thing about Venus de Milo, not in any way. I have no romantic feelings about it whatsoever, and I do like women and women's body, but I'm definitely not buying that piece. It is a tragedy of art, and many women to view the female genitalia as ugly. There were many realist painters in the 60s and 70s whose whole body of works represented the female genitals. Exactly. I agree then. It needs to be treated in a bit different way. Yeah, 60s and 70s. That's very interesting because then look at the 90s. I knew a lady who at those days, hi Williams, I knew a lady who at those days had a TV program all about women and female issues. And she said she was running it for 80 years with her friends, and it was exactly in the 60s, before 70s, I think that was. And she told me that people were really complaining a lot to her because uh, the biggest complaint was that there were men eating their dinners and they had to listen about menstruation and see female genitals and hear about menstruations. So they put the program down probably before 70s. Yeah, but she taught me a bit about the ideas and the movements and the thoughts of the 60s. She also taught me what she thought they did a bit wrong. So things not only didn't work out, but went kind of backwards. So in the effect, it turned out more like 50s after all these things. Hi, MNATZ. I was just talking about menstruation on the programs from the 60s. You look like from the 94, so let's see if you get grossed out quickly. I have a question for you, and it is not meant to be rude. No problem with rude. But when you did public hair, when did your pubic hairs and public hair become unsightly? The most beautiful is our mark evolution created. When did pubic hair became unsightly? The most beautiful. Um, you are asking me when did they went against this pubic hair thing? Yeah, that has become, I think, slowly from what I was talking about with this lady. It was all those times, and when people saw some of my, I am Polish from Poland. When people see some of my paintings, it could be for hygiene. That's an excuse, Williams. They always say it's for hygiene as an excuse. Many things can be kept into the. What country are you? Polish from Poland. Yeah. What? With this thing of the pubic hair, in the 80s there was still it was still on the paintings on the on human body, and when I have done this on some of my paintings, because of my models naturally were hairy, I did those paintings, and there were also this kind of disgusted reactions. Usually guys were saying, "Oh, that's disgusting. That's like in the 80s." So I think in the mid 80s sort of thing, or maybe at the beginning of the 80s, when all this thing, later 80s, I think. I think later 80s then, because that's what people's reactions say to me, like, "Oh, that's like in the 80s." That's what they say to me. Or maybe it is evening in Poland. Yes, it is an evening. Hi. You seem to be from the 90s, so how are you like about menstrual blood topics? Yeah, I'm not bothered doing those tests. I know already. Yeah, basically it's like, oh, yeah, but in the 60s and 70s. You're a guy, you don't know anything. All right. No, no problem, no problem. I was just talking about this lady who had this program on TV for 80 years in the 60s, and we're talking basically about the culture of female body with its nature and in its nudity and sort of thing. And do you know Venus de Milo? MNADZ? Venus de Milo, type of a statue. That's all I'll say. Does it ring any bells? Venus de Milo. It's a sculpture thing. No. Ah, alright. Oh, good job then. Okay, it's in France. Um, I don't know where it is now actually. But I don't know what you mean. Okay, No, it's not. It's not a test or anything. Louvre. Ah, possibly yes. Um, it's just that about the sort of way the sculpture is being used for imagery of female body and things like that. It's no test or anything. I was just curious about your reaction, and as you dared to answer to the first question, I thought I will see from the other side about another. It's no test or anything. It's about um, which type of sculpture of female body exists in a common imagination, which is so known. And still, I think I didn't understand what did Ben mean about the palm of the hand thing. Or is it that it just doesn't have hands, or is it to do with this one? And there's another one there also. I was just thinking, um, in Louvre, there is that one of the beginning of the world, right? Uh, from the French realist, the beginning of the world painting. And that was not 60s and not 70s. Tell me, Kate, what is the hand in the piece representing? An island, hope, peace, share. Well, it all has to do with this tangibility of the things I am working on and showing in a fourth dimension, and all has to do with this synesthesia phenomenon which I'm using for representation of fourth dimension in all of the compositions. So it's not just here, but it has to do with sort of tangibility, palpability. It has to do with the connection because um, the fourth dimensional paintings are about inside of us, outside of us, um, inside a deep cosmic space, outside of deep space, cosmic space, time and space, and sort of connection between all of those things. So the hand has to do with that connection, with this connectivity through the um, palpability, tangibility. That's how I can say, I think. And because it is so complicated as the fourth dimension, and I'm using this synesthesia in there, I am using it openly. That's why I include literally a hand in the composition, because my way is very direct and open with the representations. And because of the complications of the dimensions. Because if it was like a usual painting, I could just simply paint something palpable, something that looks like it gives the impression of a feeling of tangibility. But because it is fourth dimension, then I'm literally showing a hand with it because it's all these things of showing dimensions. It's this you see this, you don't see that. It's what you see of one dimension in another. And is reaching through those dimensions? No. No, it's not as direct as that, but it's sort of it's there to illustrate this connectivity. That's what it is. It's to illustrate the connectivity between um, inside of body space, outside of body space, into the deep space, out of deep space, time and space, and that connectivity between all those things. That's what the hand is there for. Thank you. A complicated concept that is well defined. Bravo. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Yes, it is complicated, but I'm trying to sort of be open with my keys to it, and that's one of those, and that's why it's painted in such an obvious way also. And that's all right. If you'd like, just about that. Hi ho. Yes, I am a naturist artist. There's nothing strange about that considering my technique, which originates from the Middle Ages, includes working long hours in a place that is very warm, where the air needs to be very dry because the other paintings need to dry. Your observation of on Venus is one that has never occurred to me. To me, it is a timeless representation of femininity, curvaceous. However, Rubens was blessed in his honoring of the female form. I really think like that about it, and I've seen it being used in that way as well, very much. I don't get how not wearing clothes helps with painting. You know about blood circulation system, about the lymphatic system in the body, which doesn't have a form. Um, I don't know what you know about European culture, but do you know that originally in the first Olympics, athletes competed nude? They were naked. So it has a lot to do with body's performance in long hours of meticulous work, with effort, physical effort in high temperatures and low humidity. Um, yeah, it has very, very strong physical aspect. For me, also, it has to do with frequency and affinity with my female nude subjects. Yeah, so it's this aspect of um, physical activity of the body, temperature and humidity in the atelier where paint needs to dry, and frequency and affinity with the female nude subjects. Yeah. I'm a master of pre-classical realism. It is a traditional painting technique which originates from the Middle Ages by Hall. So, um, not wearing clothes may work in a different way for other artists. So if you wear socks, does it still work? Or no, it doesn't. Because when you take your socks off, you can easily see after many hours of wearing socks, there will be little rings around your ankles, right? And those rings tell you why it doesn't work. Those rings tell you what it does with your circulation of the blood and the lymph. Skin is the largest organ, exactly, Ben, and it needs to respire. Thank you, Ben. Exactly, exactly. There's things that happen through the skin, that people don't think about because they think they eat. So what they eat, that enters their body, but things enter our body through skin as well, and they exit through skin. What about fingerless glove? The same thing. It's like a sock. But I guess it's alright if you do cartoons. So your hair is covering up skin too, right? No, no, not in the same way. There is spaces between her hair is natural part of my body. Nice try. You're welcome. Each of my masterpieces take usual masterpieces because this is different work I'm doing now. I'm working on six fourth dimensional paintings which are part of my private collection. But each of the oil on canvas masterpieces take about 2000 hours to complete, and there is about 40 to 50 fine layers of oil paint on them. What if you spill something on it, as on my masterpiece? I never spill things. I'm a master of pre-classical realism that involves very high level of hand to eye to mind coordination that is trained and accomplished through 5 years of apprenticeship drawing and painting 10 hours a day every day, where any work that isn't perfect has to be destroyed immediately. So there's no space for such clumsiness. I am a perfectionist, I hope. To keep your body operating optimally, you need food, like a burger. No, I don't eat burgers. And sometimes sauce flies out when you bite it. No, Cole, it isn't like that for me. Um, and in my opinion, on your naturism is that and my opinion on naturism is that is it is your choice. Personally, I don't care if you paint yourself purple. You will have to you have the right to your beliefs and choices. Full stop. Thank you, Ben. I think the same. Yes, it is. It is my choice, especially in my atelier. As I said, I always respect the rules of the places and platform where I'm on. So that is why my frame is as it is, whilst I stream. And when I do events in public places, when I paint in public places, um, then I also wear clothes. But where there is the space for my personal choice, I make it, and that's it. But I'm not doing it in any like way to. I'm not like struggling with something. I'm not opposing something, not making statements. That's why I am not working in that way in public spaces. Because if I was, I would be working naked on my public projects, but I'm not. I'm just doing things naturally as I do in my atelier. So yes, it's true. It is my personal choice. And if it was some kind of a statement, I would be carrying it out in a different, more manifesting way. But it isn't. And also, don't forget, I'm a fashion designer. I hope you might get arrested for that. No, because I'm not doing it in public spaces. I just said, Paiho, I know very well about the dress code because I'm a fashion designer. I did Berlin Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week. I did various fashion shows of unique hand-stitched fashion prototypes. So I know everything about dress codes and etiquette. You seem to be one of the most emotionally stable artists I have encountered, hence my interaction. Thank you, Ben. That's what I base my technique on and my skill on stability and on very stable factors. And that's why this training, which after accomplishing training, I become a master of pre-classical realism. All this is for stability, to be able to provide constant quality of work, either just by working on what an artist imagines themselves or by commission. I do think that the sort of privilege of emotion that belongs to the people who own an art piece or who see it. But I do believe it's not a place for a professionalism of an artist to be emotional. Yes, I do commissions built upon solid foundations, so to speak. Exactly, Ben, exactly. Mm, was your art teacher? I've learned in a traditional way from a master. In my technique, you don't learn it in a way like from the institution. You only can learn it, and there's not many masters on the planet at all because the technique is so rare. That is why I decided to learn to work in a way that other people can observe the creative process. But when my master was teaching me, they themselves have stopped to work as an active artist for 5 years. So the whole time of an apprenticeship, master dedicates the time fully to train an apprentice. There's your answer there. Master teaches an apprentice and doesn't work at that time themselves. And at the time, master can take on only one apprentice. And I decided not to, that I just know that I will not take on any apprentices myself. So I've asked my master to teach me in a way so people can see how the work is done, how the creative process looks like, especially because the technique is so rare. And about commissions, you see, traditionally, masters of pre-classical realism worked on royal courts. So their art was on service of the royals. Thanks, my friend. Back to the shadows for young Benjamin. Much respect and catch you on the next stream. Peace. Thank you, Ben. Always pleasure talking to you. Keep well and see you next time. And that's also why Paiho traditionally masters of pre-classical realism work in anonymous way, so they don't sign their work, and it's only recognized by the quality of the brushstroke. Can I describe one of the techniques? There is one technique, it's pre-classical realism. The name of my technique is pre-classical realism, and that is because it originates from the Middle Ages, from before the art has been institutionalized, from before classical realism teaching has started. So from before the times where art academies been established. Thanks, Ben. Handshake. Nice to see. Yeah, but like one trick it uses. That's the point. There's no tricks by her, only hard work, no tricks. Like one thing you were taught. No, there's no cheap tricks. There's no shortcuts. There's nothing like that. No tricks. If you hang out for some quick tricks or some like spectacular clues or something like that, and better switch it off because you won't find it here. The technique is like it's only the hard way. What are some examples of pre-classical realism in modern times, like something for the royals? And classical realists have stopped working in this way because they stay away from they we don't work with anything to do with politics nor religion. Pre-classical realists, um, like myself, don't work with any religious nor political topics. And you know what happened with the royalty during revolutions on the planet and so on. And besides that, it already has gone different due to all the history of Middle Ages, where you've seen all the religious wars and so on. So there is not known by the names examples of pre-classical realism in modern times. They work in anonymous way. So this is not art that is branded by the name. You won't find it. There is no branding, there is no name. Only I work in my name because uh, uh, I I decided to work publicly, which usually is not part of the tradition. So it's like the high standard, non-branded art of the time. Yes, yes. this part about the art of the time, it is also, but it includes that, but it's beyond that and more to than that, because there is timelessness aspect of uh, of, of art. There is a timelessness aspect of how long the oil paintings can last. Mhm. I want to find out how does that fish do it that has the lamp or the light, and then what is that light like? Not maybe, no. But not for now anyway. But this remind me because I want to know what that actually is and how is it connected with the body of that fish. Thank you, Juliet. That's one of my six fourth dimensional paintings. I started to work on a lot over 2 years ago. I'm a master of pre-classical realism, which is a traditional drawing and painting technique which originates from the Middle Ages. This is an oil painting. And here I'm using the subject of the deep sea uh, to bring out the fourth dimension as one of six compositions about it. Yeah, I, oh, nice. Well, it looks really good and I love it. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you, Juliet. I'm working out this light stuff now in this composition because it's not going to be a light as the one that casts shadow and shines up things in a third dimension. So I'm working on the aspect of light in this painting. All right. Yeah, because it's different in those deep seas, and the type of creatures I have included in the composition are those seen not where people can dive. It's only where the optical instruments get dipped by scientists. There's still some things I'm looking into, like the nature of light used by some fish and things like that. Okay, you have really great ideas. I love them. Thank you, Juliet. I appreciate it. I'll type in my internet site where you can see some of my paintings, but I think you are on Twitch, so I will type it there. Might get a little bit. Chat. Okay. Type it in here. Yeah, that is my site, and I'm streaming from here. Doesn't matter. I want to type. Yeah, I try to type in the site where I'm streaming from, and maybe. Yeah, first one is my internet site, and the other one is the address of the hubs where I'm streaming from, because I moved to stream through hubs. Okay. Wow, all these paintings look really good. You are very talented. Thank you, Juliet. You see, I don't believe in such thing as talent, to be honest with you. It's just a skill that I've gained through this hard, disciplined apprenticeship. It is a technique to me, not a talent. Oh, okay, fair. Thanks for understanding. How long did it take? um, 5 years of apprenticeship, drawing and painting 10 hours a day, every day, where any work that wasn't perfect, an apprentice had to, so myself as an apprentice, I had to destroy immediately. 5 years of a very, very strong, strict training. And it's not an institutionalized form of education. So the only way to learn it is during this apprenticeship or master. And I'm not planning to take on any apprentices myself, and that is why I asked to be taught in a way as if to as to be able to work publicly. That's why I've done some projects in public spaces, and that is also the idea which I stream with, to disclose this rare and meticulous creative process. Oh, alright, and damn, that's a long time, but it seems to be worth it. Exactly, Juliet. The idea is so one becomes a professional master that can fully rely on their skill. That's why it doesn't come in easy ways. It cannot be obtained by any shortcut. It is the only way. But because it is so hard and difficult, there's not many people continuing the tradition. And that is also why I decided to disclose the creative process so people can see how it's done. But I'm not planning to take on any apprentices myself. And yes, it's worth because it trains hand to eye to mind coordination to such a level that a master can be sure and stable with the quality of the work they're going to provide, either working on their own compositions or working by commission. That's really cool of you. Yes, it is, Juliet. I actually often refer to cool as mentioning objectivity because my technique um, involves a lot of objectivity. So it literally is kind of cool because I don't use emotions in my work. I compose in a very conscious way. I work with a very strong ethos of my art. All right. Yes, um I don't approach my work in any emotional way. That is what I consider to be professional. And that is what this type of training, which I just described to you, has shaped in me. That way, an artist works professionally, not for not to please themselves, not for any like therapeutical reasons or as a hobby or anything. That's to me the difference between professionalism or otherwise. I completely understand where you're coming from. Thank you, Juliet. Also, how long does it usually take to draw a full oil painting? To paint a full completed oil on canvas masterpiece, it takes about 2000 hours, and there is about 40 to 50 fine layers of oil paint. So usually it takes about 2000 hours, but with those fourth dimensional compositions, which I am on now, that's going to be a bit different. They're going to take longer. Oh, I see. Wow. Once it's completely done, it must be like a relief in a way, right? No, Juliet, it actually isn't. As I said, it's all this part of being professional. Through this apprenticeship, one develops a way of treating things in a really cool way. So it's not a relief. It's like it's a natural process that has beginning, middle, and end. Um, it's not a big thing at any of the stages actually. And it comes with the decision, sometimes discussions when it's commissioned piece, and compositional drawings. Um, when it's commissioned piece, then the composition has to be agreed on with the person who the painting is going to belong to. So it's all like the whole process, but neither of the parts of this process is more spectacular or more like emotionally appealing to another. That's what I mean about cool. It literally is very cool. Because you see, I believe that the emotional aspect, that is the privilege of the person who is going to own the piece. It's not for an artist to have. An artist in my technique needs to be professional and provide the highest possible quality of their artwork for the people to view over long, long years. Hi, Sujok. Hi, Kate. How's things like the hunt? Things are very well. Thank you very much, Justin. Hi. Yeah, the hunt is at this side today. Been a lovely day actually. Very, very warm. Really got a chance to feel summer outdoors. Things are also looking like they're going to reopen. A lot of places start to put out their terraces to start their sort of summer season. But I don't think I'll be that much part of that. I stick with my paintings. You get a chance to sunbathe in it then? Yes, yes, a bit. I enjoyed it very much. I got a chance to wear a really nice flowery summer lady's dress with my legs more hairy than most of the guys around. It was a great experience. Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah, but it is true. Like I have this like very very ladylike dress, which is so nice. I really like. I enjoy it, but I'm not going to shave to enjoy summer. So my legs are so hairy. Uh, I think they're yeah hairier than most of the guys really. So it is really good walking in it and seeing people's reaction. And hopefully in a couple of days we'll be able to walk around without a mask because now still even in the streets and even though without people around we have to wear a mask here all of the time. So I'm looking forward to putting face in the sun actually. No, oh well, as long as you had a good time, that's the main thing. Yes, thank you, Justin. I did. Thank you. Yeah, we have to wear masks in shops too. Yes, yes, and it's just that here we had to wear them for so long and everywhere. Not just in the shops, Justin, but everywhere in the street, everywhere, anywhere in public. So just as soon as you leave your home, you have to wear a mask here. This has been a bit difficult, especially now when even with no people around and completely outdoors, still have to wear it. At least you was not nude at the time of you saying something then. No, no. I do respect the places where I am and all the dress codes I know very well. But I tell you, there is a lot of space to maneuver. like with hairy legs and things like that. How do I know you're actually naked? Well, you I respect the platforms where I'm at. So at the platforms where I can be naked, I am. Like for example on Patreon under age restriction. Also, you can see it on my Twitter. I think on Instagram also, and even Facebook. And ah, um, well, you can also check my posts on Hubs. But I guess yeah, but I'm not here to reassure you either. So I'm not here to sort of give you a guarantee that I'm naked. I am, and that's it. But yeah, you don't have to know. I mean, yeah, people believe what they want to believe, and I'm not here to reassure anyone in any. I had my first one some weeks back. Uh, it was what first one? What first one did you think? What first one did you have some weeks back? Vaccine. Mm-hmm. I see. Um, um, no, no, I haven't. And are you planning your holidays already? Because I thought that's what you were saying about the painting. Well, it's one of six fourth dimensional compositions of mine, which I have started to work on over 2 years ago. You see, Joel, first, I'm a master of pre-classical realism, so I use a traditional drawing and painting technique which originates from the Middle Ages. And this is one of the six compositions where I am covering and exploring the fourth dimension using my craft, my art, my skill. In June holiday, right? Mm, that's really interesting. So I'm guessing you did a bunch of research on fourth dimension. Yes, as well, but this is not how I got to it. You see, and my technique allows to cover the fourth dimension because it in a way ignores the third dimension, and all the focus of classical realists is on the third dimension. Me, as a master of pre-classical realism, I am free to kind of ignore the third dimension, like in the middle age, in the paintings from the Middle Ages, you will see the issue of perspective, and third dimensionality was treated differently, and some of the works that have still being saved, because a lot of that got destroyed during the religious wars and things like that. You will see the element of time very, very often used in compositions, and you will see that um, that sort of closeness to the fourth dimension. So what brought me to the fourth dimension was just pure the means of the technique which I'm using, but I've researched it as well, of course. Yeah, good for you, Kate. It is rude for someone to ask you to prove you knew it is cheap. Yes, yes, I don't need to prove, and I am as well. So I am, but I don't need to prove anything. I do enjoy a good challenge, Justin, but that is not a good challenge. That is weak as a challenge. So it isn't even one. What's your favorite classical realism painting? I don't have one. I don't have one. But my technique is pre-classical, from before classical realism, and masters of my technique worked anonymously. So they worked anonymously in the atelier, like masters from the Middle Ages. They usually are anonymous master from the Middle Ages. That's the idea, because the work was not branded by any name, by any means, and the whole concentration was on the quality of work, not on their name, not on their ego, or anything like that. I work in my name because I am not planning to take on any apprentices, and I asked my master to teach me in a way to work in a way so I can disclose the creative process, and that's what I'm doing through streaming. And previously, I did that in public spaces as well. And thank you, Justin, for giving me your opinion on the way the discussions go. I do appreciate that. I like it seen from the other perspective very much. Hi, Matthew. I'm very well. Thank you very much, Matthew. Enjoy the lovely summer's day. Thanks, Justin. No summer here, still waiting for spring. Alright. Yeah, be off to Zante on holiday. Would you like to come? No, I'm not planning on any holiday, Justin. But I don't know what Zante is actually. Not good at geography, that's fact, but I have never heard about place like that. Myself, I don't go on holiday. Where is it? Zante. Ah, it's a Greek island. Ah, interesting. Hope you have a good time there, Justin. In June, be still enjoyable weather, not the hottest hot. Thank you, Matthew. I try to set the view so it doesn't blur. I saw I had that thing before that the camera is sort of searching for light or for focus. So I try to show the surface of the canvas as well as I can at the times needed. And now it's one of those because mm, I want to show the details on it, and it's not always visible, but it's possible to see. Oh, you know that storm we had yesterday? A poor kid got struck by lightning and died from playing football. Oh, and they say football is healthy for you. Whoa, that's what a story. That's awful. We're going to get storms soon. Yes, really strange things are happening to football recently altogether. Strange. I can see it, the palm and praise. Although, yeah, it'd be better weather there than here. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, those southern places always have it warmer and nicer. We are expecting this kind of storms at the weekend, so soon. Already tomorrow's weather is not supposed to be as nice, and then the storms. You should try a holiday someday. We all need a break at times. Not me, Justin. It's not that I've never been on holiday, but since I've become a master of pre-classical realism, I don't function in that rhythm at all. I used to get nightmares from the sort of being at school and then having breaks from holidays. Um, Now my life rhythm is completely different, Justin. And when I go somewhere, it's always with a purpose. I always need that sense of purpose to do anything actually, either this physical effort or going somewhere. I like it to be with a purpose and then for it to bring a satisfaction of doing so. So if I go somewhere that may be to mm, to see some landscape, I'll be painting things like that. And yeah, it's a different way, I know, but um, I've been living in that rhythm for quite some time already, and I'm going to continue in this way. That's part of not having a normal job, sort of say, and yeah, and my whole perspective and the rhythm of life is different. It's not that I don't get healthy breaks because I do. It's just that it could rain again tomorrow, or it's just that going on holiday per se would be no break to me because I would see the new landscapes, the new things. I would have to paint them again. So you see, it wouldn't work simply. I need something else as a break. Well, Kate, you have yourself a great night. Thank you, Matthew. You have a good time too. Oh, bless you. As long as you're happy and enjoy life, that's the main thing. Thank you, Justin. I think so too. Everybody has their own ways to do their things, and mine, because of the technique, are very different. But it's going to be soon for you, June already. Wow, I really wish you have a good holiday, Justin. I probably look like a beetroot, the end of it from sunburn. That's nice, Justin. You can always use something to protect yourself from sunburn. Nice. I think, I expect there's going to be a lots of attractions for tourists because the whole industry has been paused for a very long time. So yeah, actually, I wonder if there are going to be surprises and improvements, or is it going to be that everybody will be just happy that things run as they do? It'll be interesting to see. And also, I wonder how will people interact, because from what I found, people have become kind of austere, like, oh, don't talk to the strangers in the bars and things like that. They were not so very open, not so very talkative, but now I think they sort of they missed this human contact very much. So I wonder how will they be like. I wonder if they'll, for example, provide more entertainment in the tourist places. And yeah, it's interesting to think about. Heard a lot of strange stories about, for example, cruise ships that have been sailing for, like, have been always in circulation, and they have stopped sailing, and they have all kinds of different issues. Everything is a bit strange and different now. And it's not known which of them and if will go back into this circulation. Did you go with friends when you was out to catch up on things? And no, I went shopping for groceries. That's what I usually do. That's what I go out for. It happens that I meet people, like I meet friends, people who I know. But let me think, did I meet someone today? No, 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 I didn't. Just the usual shop. And like I always go out with purpose, so I'm looking forward to trying to go out for a little picnic when we can go around with no masks. But that wasn't yet. It wasn't today. Recently, I've seen a friend, and she is going to join the military. That's one of the friends I've met recently that I can think of. But that wasn't today. That was previously. On our side. It's really interesting. She decided to sort of choose that lifestyle, and she's going to be moving, and she's joining military. It was interesting, and she was happy about that. Really chose a different way for life. Yeah, uh, up, open and things open. Yeah, it will be. I think some places not be hard. Mm. Some places not be open. Ah, I see. Yeah, I wonder about that. Some sort of establishment have failed to be able to continue, I think. Yeah, I think so too. Some might not be open. You're right, especially the smaller ones, I think. Like little tourist shops and tiny cafes. They've been waiting for a long time to open. Yeah, it's interesting to think about. And then, to be honest, also, I wonder if the ones that are still opened are not going to be sort of very much like, are they not going to have very big teeth onto the tourists that are coming? Because I already felt a little bit of that type of atmosphere in tourist places, to be honest. This sort of big teeth, oh, tourists are coming. And now, as the situation has become as it has, I wonder how will that go? Will it not going to will it be, you know, even harder to ignore, maybe, this sort of hanging out for tourists? Yeah, interesting. I never liked that, to be honest, because it's called hospitality industry. But in the idea, hospitality cannot be an industry. And I was bitterly disappointed once when I've heard somebody talking about the guests they are waiting for, and it seemed such a nice social situation. But then I realized they were running a tourist place, and the guests were not actual guests, they were just people who were renting a place from them. And that made me see the whole tourism in a bit different way too, to be honest. Yeah, picnics are nice because if no one around, you could walk clothes free. You feel safe to do so. Oh no, I don't have much opportunities um to do that. It's forbidden in public. It's forbidden in public in my country, and some people no, there are only like strict places for naturists, but I'm nowhere near them, and so I don't do that. That's why I'm happy to work in the comfort of my atelier, because that's where I can do it. But other than that, no, we cannot have nature's picnics. Would be nice. But that's also like on another one of the paintings from that one who I mentioned before about the beginning of the world. Interesting. But yeah, no, not possible. Just only statues can be nude. I keep you posted and I will let you know. Hi, thank you, Jason. Yeah, it'll be interesting. That a shame we have nude swims here that natures can go to. Oh, that's great. That's really nice. No, we don't. It's usually at the seasides, and where we live is very far away from the sea, so it's not possible. I bet you get a chance sometime. There are plenty out there to go for, just up to you where you like to try. Yes, it's true. I get the chance sometime. It's true. Mostly it's at the seaside, right? But yeah, we'll see how the situation develops. Maybe instead of masks, people will be able to try naturism or something. We'll see. I wouldn't want to, for example, I have been recently very disappointed with the forest because there's ticks in the forest, and I was hoping that we could sort of go out um, to nature places as forest types, and I really like forest, but we went there for a moment and got two ticks walking on our clothes. So you see, it does make sense that the seaside places and beaches are good for naturism because otherwise, what can you get? Okay, like short good grass meadows could be as well. Mm, and little lakes, maybe they are too little to sort of segregate for people clothes and naturists. But the seasides are naturally the best. And forests I really consider to be dangerous because of ticks. And because of those ticks, I can't enjoy going around the forest anymore as I used to. And I won't. I don't want any risk of that. But saunas are places where people naturally nude because of, but yeah, that's a bit different. That's not outdoors. And do you know the shop called Debenhams? Yes. Yeah, so it's closed down today. Big closed shop here from this COVID. Wow. You mean it sort of failed to continue? Yes. Oh my. Yeah, that is strange. Now it's going to come out tomorrow when the things reopen. It's like I say it's like in the springtime you see which trees are dead because they don't shoot out the fresh leaves and branches. Yeah. Uh, and that's what I mean about this atmosphere. Some places close down, and the ones that are opened really hanging out for customers, for clients, for so-called guests. I don't like this whole fakery, to be honest with you, Justin. I don't like this. That's why I don't like so much this tourism industry thing. Yeah. And now I think the way it's going to go is going to be even more like that. I even worry it's going to be like a bit dangerous levels because I see a lot of theft uh, being on the news and things like that. So that makes me wonder too, like about the serious issues of safety and Yeah, true. You go where feel comfy and made welcome from people who are around you. Exactly, Justin. And that's what I pick up on has changed a bit recently. That's where I don't feel the same. And to be honest, I feel not comfortable with everybody trying to act out as if it is the same, as everything is like going to run as it used to. It gives a very strange feeling. Yeah, I like the quiet places so get the chance to chill. Yeah, exactly. That's nice. I see around me, I see like in my city, the bars are getting ready to open, and I think that people will just go crazy with the alcohol and that. And I don't know if there's going to be many quiet places, to be honest, because I can see it. I can see them preparing the terraces and everything, and this sort of this drinking culture and that it's been so like kind of starved for a while, and I think that I just think they may come out and go crazy, all of them at once. I wonder about that. So I don't see it as it's going to be very quiet or calm in any way. I think, yeah, I literally think people are going to go into the bars and go crazy. And I don't like that, to be honest. I don't like that. Yeah, as Brits are known for our parties, yeah, and tend to not drink much no more. Been there, done that. Time to calm down a bit now. You're right, Justin. Yeah, you have to take care of your health a bit. Here it's also like that. People are known for drinking a lot, drinking heavy alcohol. Yeah, exactly. I don't drink either. I think I will switch off now. Thank you very much for the conversations. Keep well and see you next time. Bye.